I thought at least half these guys are just playing along. Maybe they don't take it too seriously. I thought the other half of these guys take it really seriously, and I'd had enough of it, and I needed her to get back to me. She needs to get back to me now, and she'd update her profile every 4 or 5 days. I remembered to. I was like, "Oh, Bonk first date. What's she got to say today?" And she'd say, "Oh, all my guys, I've got you all rounded up now, all my favourites. Some of you have fallen by the wayside. Oh well." And then she'd say, "But if you're keeping up with me, that's fantastic. And still searching for my number one guy." And at this point, I said to myself, no, she has to respond to me now. Like, that's her turn now. I think I'd given her 3 things. I said 3 things to her, been acknowledged on that, and I was like, she has to respond to me now. Never heard from her again. I never heard from her again. In fact, a while later, I think it was like 6 weeks later, or something like that, I was like, oh, Bonk, because I'd forget her. Then I was like, Bonk, first date. Like, a decade later, I was just thinking to myself one day, oh, you know, in the past, situations in the past, different things in the past. And I was like, oh, there's dating sites. And I was like, oh, Bonk, first date. Whatever happened to her? That floozy. And I was like, oh my, and I was like, so I said, oh yeah, I talked to her 3 times and that was it. She had to respond to me. And so what happened with that was I checked up on her profile a while down the track, and she had said, well, congratulations to my harem of wonderful guys. Like you should name a few guys. And she said, you're very talented, and you are now part of my harem. I don't know if it was a harem that she wanted, or just one guy. I really can't remember now. Could have been a harem. And at this point, I was spending less time on Lava Life. I much preferred going out on the town in Sydney and having a good time that way, and I just did. And I also much preferred Yahoo Chat. Much preferred. Yahoo Chat at that time was far more fulfilling. And we said, oh, my group of my guys, I got my guys, and I would be like, you can keep them. I talked to you 3 times, and after that 3rd time, I was like, you got to get back to me. You have to get back to me. Now you have to respond to me. And never heard from her again. And I was very, very, very happy that I did not put any more effort into that. Very happy. And I think about 3 times since then, I have remembered that, like, I'll be thinking about something, I'll be like, oh, Bonk first date. Oh. And Lava Life was absolutely miserable. I even got into an argument with their management because I decided to make my own rules or something. I decided to do something, and I sent them an angry letter, and they said, I thought that'd be professional and diplomatic about things. They said, go get fucked then, fuck off. And I'm like, okay. I told them where to go, they told me where to go. I didn't like their rules, I didn't like their system, I didn't like that you had to pay. And the women on there were very mainstream. Like, some were like, if you don't earn more than 100,000 a year, don't bother contacting me. And what was the main part that I was going to talk about in Lava Life? it was just very depressing to be on there. And there was a big point. I was going to make a big point. I'm getting depressed talking about it. Love life. Yeah, you just, it was just very self-esteem lowering. Very self-esteem lowering. And a terrible sight. Really, actually terrible. Did nothing for the self-esteem. And I doubt that it's still running today. I'm actually curious, is love? Whatever it is, jeez, you gotta be. Never liked the fact that you had to pay. And every time you wanted to talk to a woman, you had to use tokens, and they didn't have to spend any to talk to you. I was always approaching the women. I like to be mutual. Love, life. Or did they get shut down like they should have been years ago? Shut down. Oh fucking hell! Oh fucking hell! What is? Oh my! Oh. Thought they got shut down years ago. My friend David was very into, oh my goodness. You know, I just thought that got fucking shut down years ago. Lava Life is still operational. Nasty. And during my time on it, I was miserable, depressed, it lowered the self-esteem, it was a horrible place to be. I just remember what I was going to say. So, Bonk first date. So, I got so angry with that, that I decided to put together a harem of girls. I decided to put together my own harem of women. So, on my profile I said, listen up girls, I'm gathering you together, I'm looking for some charming, funny girls who I can have fun with, and so submit your applications to me, and tell me about yourselves. And I said, it was all in anger, I was so pissed off, and I thought, oh, if this floozy can do it, I'm going to do it. I wrote this out of my profile, and not a thing. I looked back in like the next day or 3 days time, 4 days time, and I thought, I have all these emails, nothing, not a scrap, not a thing, no response. And I got so angry at this point, and I think this whole thing went for a couple of months, and then I think there was one evening I was like, this is terrible, this is miserable, this is not helping my life, this is not helping me. And I think that was when I had a few, I put onto my profile my email address so that women could just contact me through my Yahoo email address. And they kept not accepting, because when you change your profile, they've got to approve the changes. And they kept not accepting it. So I started writing some weird stuff at the time. Like, this is how you can contact me, blah, blah, blah. And I got into an argument with management, and they started getting annoyed with me. And they said, you can't include this on your thing. And I said, I don't want to pay. Got into an argument. One night I was like, I'm done with this. This is not good for me. and I just closed my profile up. I deleted my account, and I think they said don't mind if let the door hit you on the way out, and I deleted my account and felt much better afterwards. The women on there were miserable, in the sense of must have this, must do that, must, don't. So many women on there were like, no tattoos, no long hair, no heavy metal, clean cut, conservative, 9 to 5, and I'm like, and after closing my account, I felt so much better. How miserable, And so that was my experience. That was my experience on Lava Life Bonk first date. Three times I gave her a message, and the final time I was like, alright, I remember the third time I'd done that, and I was like, alright, no, she has to get back to me. She needs to start talking to me. Just drop these guys. She needs to drop these other guys and talk to me. You want to get out of here? Talk to me. And I think the more and more the guys' names that she would mention, I got annoyed by that. I was like, I don't want to hear about them. I don't want to know about them. And I just, nasty. But how many of those guys were taking her seriously, and how many of those guys are playing along, and how many of those guys was the whole thing a farce? How many of those guys did she end up getting together with? How many of those guys were able to tolerate her in person? I remember a few years after that, thinking back to it, and thinking, oh, I don't know if I even want to meet you in person. Yeah, good to get that out of the system. Good to speak about that. Lava Life gives me the chills. Oh, it gives me the I'm very fortunate to be with my soulmate. We've known each other for years. And at the time I was on Lava Life, we were friends. We were friends. We've been together. We've been together a decade. We've grown together, and she is wonderful and marvelous. I don't think I could. Being single these days, the idea of it, I'm just very happy with my partner, and the idea of surviving a single world. I was single for a long time. My single years were miserable, really miserable, because I thought that I had to have a girlfriend. That's what brought me down a lot. And in retrospect, should have just completely focused on all my goals, which I started doing in the end anyway. But if I had a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, said to me, if you put as much effort into your goals as you do with chasing women, man, you'd achieve all your goals. Yeah, wouldn't be the person I am today now, but presently goal orientated. I'm an amateur filmmaker heading toward professional, and all my short films, getting them underway, working on my feature script, and yeah.